so much, Lisa. I remember first hearing this song in the late 80s in the San Diego area. It was written by Charlie Thweet, Dancers in the Light. And I love that line that says, "And this dancer made of light is you." I just get a floaty feeling when I hear this song. It's like dancing in the light. It evokes this ethereal picture for me, just flowing in the light. And that's what we're talking about today. Our title is Inquiring Minds Want to Flow. And when we find our purpose, our glow, then we're in the flow. So when we find our glow, we're in the flow. And this is really great because I know that Charlie found his flow there, and it was actually written. What he told me, it was written here in Austin as he was arranging chairs before a Sunday service at the Unity in South Austin. He said on January 3rd, 1981, it came flowing into my mind. And what a gift that is, that he then took that and wrote it down for us, and we can go retrieve it all these years later. What a joy, what a gift that is. And all we have to do is inquire. Like I had lost this song, and all I had to do was follow a lead that took me to his website, to this song, contact him. It's like I followed that curious lead. And all month we're talking about curiosity. It's one of the basic calls in our life. And I know that so many times in my life, I have stifled my curiosity. I am not by nature a curious person. Well, maybe I'm curious, but I'm not going to ask you actually, what you're doing or where you came from or any number of things like how did you get that and where did that. It's like I'm not that kind of person that asks all those questions, even though there is a curiosity there. But I wonder sometimes what would happen if I followed that curiosity. See, curiosity is one of our superpowers. And as we follow those superpowers that we have, then we express our divine. Our affirmation today, I'm expressing my divine calling right here, right now, which it fits in with our global theme this year is living out loud, and specifically, again, focusing on curiosity this month. So as we move through this month of February, it is a month of love, and isn't that curious? We're pulled by curiosity to look below the surface, to go within, as it was, and to release those gifts of curiosity that we have. Sometimes people really want you to be curious about them. For example, right now we have this beautiful cat that we are fostering and ready to rehome. And I'm so grateful when anybody asks me about it because it's like, oh, there's interest in the cat. I love that. So as we reconnect with that superpower of curiosity, this excitement about the possibility moves us from complacency and inspires that greater yet to be. At least it does for me. See, if we knew it all or could see it all, there would be no need for this curious, imaginative mind. Now, lots of times I thought I knew it all or that I could see all the aspects, and then I wasn't curious. But once I realized that I don't know anything, I'm much more curious. So let us appreciate that unknown, because if we didn't have it, we probably wouldn't move and life would be really dull. And let's look at what lies unseen beneath the surface that has always been the mystery. So we live in this limitless universe. And yes, we do limit our experience by our own beliefs and perceptions. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but I allow fear to prevent me from following curiosity into that unknown. And see, that fear feeds the belief that the world is a scary place. And it feeds the belief that we're alone in this world, that we're walking this path alone. And as I was thinking about this, I remembered a time in my life when I was really afraid of the dark. It's like I wouldn't go out of the house after dark. Nothing could bring me out. And wasn't until I realized that there was that spirit in the darkness not the spirits as ghosts, but spirit is in the darkness too. And so once I was able to lean into my faith and knowing that that divine is always supporting us, whether it's light or dark, whether we can see the light or dark, the light is always there. And it supplies us in everything that we need. And then we can look into that beauty that lies beneath the surface. It's like when the first time you go snorkeling and you're, I don't, I'm okay. I'm afraid of the dark. I was afraid of dark and water. Water is, yeah, I'm not a swimmer. So snorkeling is like, okay, I can poke my head under the water. And then what a beautiful sight there is. Earlier or last year we went, we saw sea turtles, but you have to look under the water. We saw these magnificent, colorful fish. You have to look in the deeper water. So once I realized that we can seek out the beauty that lies beneath the surface and that the universe is always conspiring in my favor. I have to remember that piece. The universe is always conspiring in my favor. And I'm curious somehow, how does that happen? And here's the start. So first, curiosity is the most basic call of life. It pulls us to learn about the world around us. If you think about a baby is tasting its fingers and toes, that's curiosity. A seafaring adventurer is discovering lands yet unknown because of the curiosity. It's stimulating us to know more. And when that desire to know more becomes stronger than the fear of the unknown, then we find a way. We lean into that conviction that the universe is for us. We lean into this faith and we allow that fear to be transformed into excitement. And so, as we grow and expand our knowledge of the world, then we grow and expand our personal power as well. And then we can feel secure. And when we feel secure, what do? We dive deeper, discover new things. Ideas build on ideas as we uncover the beauty in this world. We recognize the divine in all things, and that fear is laid to rest. And one of the questions that we might inquire about, a basic question of humankind, what is my reason for being? Why am I here? And it's a question that our curious minds would love to answer. But actually, this is not a question for the intellect. This is a question that we answer in our soul. It's our soul's call. So, yes, we can think about why we're here. We can think about, oh, the reasons that I was born into this family at this time. We can think about all those reasons. But really, there's part of us that knows, and we simply have to go within and ask. I remember when my mother passed away, and I was at a place where I was at a convention. I was at a United Centers for Spiritual Living convention. And immediately I went to a practitioner, and her question was, why were you born to this mother? And why, it's like, and I couldn't answer that intellectually, but my soul said, oh, we're always connected. And it really helped me to heal, but it wasn't something that I could answer right away. See, to find that which reveals the unique gifts, we share a world. And we share this world that works for everyone. We're all connected. There is something about that. And we are magnificent expressions of the divine exactly as we are. Oh, and by the way, exactly as we are not. And we're often reminded that what we are seeking is seeking us. And that's never truer than when we seek our purpose in life. See, there's that divine calling that's waiting to be discovered and expressed in only the way that we can express it. So we are part and parcel of the puzzle. And maybe we think we're a little piece, but without that one piece, what's the puzzle? One time my cat hid some puzzle pieces from me. And that puzzle was just not complete. I know what that feels like, an incomplete puzzle. So what I want for everyone to have a complete puzzle, to put their piece in exactly where it goes. And we don't always know where it goes until the other pieces are kind of all around us. But we do have a unique purpose. I want to make sure you know that. There is a unique purpose for every person, everything. And as Rainbow read last week, a unique time, a time for everything as well. So we are expressions of the divine, and we're here to share our gifts and passions. And no other person can ever bring that light to life as we bring it. Nobody can be a dancer in the light as we dance because we are unique. And as we recognize the importance of our life, we also know that we need to share our gifts in our own unique and individual way. Only you have your gifts. No one else has those gifts. And sometimes we wonder. I like this quote from Mark Twain. He said, "Why do you sit there looking like an envelope without any address on it?" Why do you sit there looking like an envelope without any address on it? Where is that envelope going? So, one of the things is, again, we can't let fear stop us from our attempts to discover that glow, that which makes us come alive. Because if we do, then we become disillusioned and feeling stuck, and that we're just not curious anymore. So there is a passage from Illusions by Richard Bach that I do love. And I'll tell you this little story. It's about a village of creatures along the bottom of a great crystal river. And the current of the river swept over them all, young and old, rich and poor, good and evil, current going its own way, knowing only its crystal self. And each creature, in its own manner, clung tightly to the twigs and rocks of the river bottom. Clinging was their way of life, and resistance to the current was what each had learned from birth. Does that sound familiar? Okay, one creature at last said, "I am tired of clinging. I cannot see it with my eyes. I trust the current knows where it's going. I shall let go and let it take me where it will. If I cling, I shall die of boredom." And the others laughed and said, "Oh, fool, let go, and that current you worship will throw you tumbled and smashed across the rocks, and you shall die quicker than boredom." But that one heeded them not, and taking a breath, did let go, and was tumbled and smashed across the rocks, and yet in time, refusing to cling, the current lifted him free from the bottom. And as the creatures downstream cried, "A miracle! A creature like ourselves, yet he flies! He flies!" And the one carried in the current said, "You can do this. The river delights to lift us free if only we dare let go. Our true work is this voyage, this adventure." And isn't that the truth? Our true work is this adventure to go with the flow while we are here. And so I invite you, don't just dip a toe in the river and get caught in the resistance. Just dive in all the way into the center of the stream and allow yourself to be carried by the current, discovering yourself along the way. This is how we find our purpose. And when we find our glow, then we are in the flow. So if we apply this question, why am I here? And what is my purpose in life, to our community, to the Austin Center for Spiritual Living? What is our purpose for being? I'm curious about this. What what will our stone soup look like? Later this month, we have an opportunity to look further into this question. Um, and the bigger question, how are we living our purpose? What are our next steps? I'm so glad that Janice read the story of the stone soup. The villagers were probably very curious about the wanderer and what was in the pot. And they brought their gifts. And that's really what made the soup. Oh, I'm sorry, did I give away the ending? The idea that we come and bring our gifts. And that creates a unique soup, and we all get to partake of it. So rather than one person just having only cabbage and one person having only beans, put all this together into this beautiful soup. I do not know who got the rock. I'm pretty sure the Wanderer just kept the rock to make more soup. That's a soup starter, so it was. So with curiosity, our awareness grows. It sparks our imagination, that expands our consciousness, and builds our mental equivalent. Do you remember mental equivalence? That is the picture that we have of the perfection that we are. And once we have that picture in our mind, then we move toward that. And this opens us up to receive more of good. So curiosity as a superpower can transform your life. And delving into that unknown and seeking to understand more about the world and yourselves leads to amazing discoveries. How will we choose to use that? How will we choose to use it as individuals? And how will we choose to use that as the Austin Center for Spiritual Good? How will we grow and express this good as us? And what I know for sure is that even as we answer these questions, our curiosity is presenting us with even more to contemplate. Now, one of the things we do in curiosity is, um, well, we have to surrender. So I don't know about you, oftentimes I get caught up in the doingness. If I can just do something, if I can just do the laundry, fold the clothes, then I've accomplished something, right? But if I'm curious, then maybe I want to do something different. Maybe I want to take a different route. Maybe I want to read a different book, maybe a book that I wouldn't ordinarily read. See, that curiosity is ignited sometimes by doing something different and leads us to different paths. And when we surrender our clinging to the bottom, clinging to the rocks, and go into the flow, then we get into that quiet place. If you've ever been up in a hot air balloon, on the ground, you hear the sound of the heat, right, the heater, and it makes a big whoosh, and you think, wow, that's going to be a noisy balloon ride. When you're up in the air in a balloon flowing with a current, there is no sound, and you can hear the people on the ground talking. In the flow, it is quiet. And so when we surrender to that flow, allow the quiet to descend around us, allow our curious minds to travel to amazing places, that's where we are inspired. That's where inspiration comes from. See, curiosity allows us to see the magnificence of who we are and the world we live in. And we can revel in the wonderment and live out loud as joy. Or not. We're always a choice. I guess the question is, what will your choice be today? Will you choose to see the divine expressed through you and live life to its fullest? Will you choose something different? See, we're all magnificent expressions of the divine, and we're called to live a life filled up and overflowing with good. Curiosity pulls us in that direction of uncovering our good and leads us to know the truth of who we are. So today, I invite you to recognize and know yourself as an expression of the divine and live life to its fullest. Dive in with curiosity, allow the joy of spirit to be expressed as you. There's only one of you, this one magnificent shining light. Don't hide it under a bushel. Don't dampen it by thoughts of not being enough. Shine brightly, shine brilliantly as you live life out loud. And when I thought about this, I turned to my favorite poet, Mary Oliver, and she has a beautiful poem that talks about living life out loud. So let's do that poem now. Let me read that for you. When death comes, like the hungry bear in autumn, when death comes and takes all the bright coins from his purse to buy me and snaps the purse shut, when death comes like an iceberg between the shoulder blades, I want to step through the door full of curiosity, wondering, what is it going to be like, that cottage of darkness? And therefore, I look upon everything as a brotherhood and a sisterhood, and I look upon time as no more than an idea, and I consider eternity as another possibility. And I think of each life as a flower, as common as a field daisy, and as singular, and as each name a comfortable music in the mouth, tending, as all music does, towards silence. And each body a lion of courage and something precious to the earth. And when it's over, I want to say my life, I was a bride married to amazement. I was the bridegroom taking the world into my arms. When it's over, I don't want to wonder if I'd made my life something particular and real. I don't want to find myself sighing and frightened or full of argument. I don't want to end up simply having visited this world. I want to step through the door full of curiosity, wondering, what is it going to be like, that cottage of darkness? I don't want to end up simply having visited this world. And so let's take that into our treatment today. And just knowing without a doubt, and as I've already said, and truly believe there is a power, a presence, a divine life moving in, through, and as each one of us. It is eternal. It was here before the beginning that we can imagine, and will be here after the end of whatever we can imagine. Something greater than we are. And yet it is right here where we are, present in each cell in our body, breathing in each life, each cell, each moment. There is that divine presence. And so let's take a moment now to connect with that presence. Knowing that silence, there's the divine spirit. In the quiet, there is love, there is life, there is joy. And knowing that there is one power, one presence, that we are connected in that and with that, because I know this, because I know that there is that one power, that there is a power for good in the universe working in my favor, because I know that I am one with it, then I can confidently speak the word, knowing that that divine responds to me as I align myself with it, in the flow of life. And so I speak this word for love, for knowing perfect relationships, knowing that each person has the perfect right, love, friends, family, and that these relationships are in divine harmony. And anything unlike that is simply released, let go, dissolved, and dissipated. So what remains is love. There is only love. And I speak my word also for perfect health, knowing that there is a divine pattern for perfect health, that each person has that connection in that pattern for health. And so each cell in every body has a divine intelligence with it, in it, that knows exactly what to do and how to do it. At the cellular level, there is a great healing taking place in this very moment. And so I can release and let go of any thoughts of dis-ease or illness and move into the knowing of perfect health, ease and grace in movement. And I know too the truth for perfect work, that we are divine expressions of spirit, and our purpose here is to creatively express, express creativity, whether that be through art or music or math or words. We express our perfect work, and it makes delicious stone soup. And so, having spoken the word for love, for health, for creative expression, I now come to the part of prosperity, knowing this world is abundant. There are more than enough thoughts, there are more than enough dreams, there are more than enough examples of love and life working in perfection. This is an abundant universe. And so I open myself to receive from that abundance, and I give from that same abundance. The law of circulation in action. And in this, I rest. I know that all is well. And I'm in such gratitude for this knowing and for this life that we live. What a joy. And in gratitude, I let it be. I release this word to the law that simply says yes, the law that is part of that divine universe conspiring in my favor. The law says yes, as I truly express my feelings, as I feel into it, and so I can let go. I can let it be. Oh, I invite you to join me as together we affirm, and so it is.